Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there. Hiss, Leona hiss. All right, kids, welcome back to another episode of Marvel Tales, Part 4. I am Phil, joining me, as always. What happened to Leona hiss? It
is. Justin the Owl, rising from the depths of Atlantis.
Yeah, that's right. This time we're going to cover Spectacular Spider-Man Annual 9, guest starring Cloak Dagger, and Daredevil Annual 5, guest starring Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Double dose of Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's kind of like that Spectacular Spider-Man Annual, kind of like a cliffhanger that leads right into Daredevil.
Yes, I liked that.
Yes. I believe they're both written by Jerry Conway. So.
Yeah. And he also helped out with the Amazing Spider-Man annual that we just covered.
I'm trying to remember. It might be him. Is it him? It was probably either him or Michelini on that web annual. I can't remember, but we'll get there.
I can't remember who does that one. I think it is Conway, though.
All right. So, all right. Spoilers. I mean, by the time this hits the podcast, you'll know. But if you're watching on YouTube tonight or tomorrow, whatever, a little bit of spoiler. Comic-Con, Lilith and I are going to do a big Comic-Con episode for Capes and Lunatics, so I'm sure we'll mention this. But yes, they just announced not too long ago, May 2026, Avengers Doomsday will be the next Avengers movie. Guess, again, it's going to be, we're getting Kang is gone. We're getting Dr. Doom. Yeah. And they've revealed the actor playing Dr. Doom. So if you don't want to know, skip ahead or whatever. But yes, the actor playing Victor Von Doom will be none other than a little-known actor you may have heard of, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. The surprise of the century.
Yes. And I know me and Justin were talking about it. Like, we hope you don't see a lot of his face behind, hope he keeps that mask on.
That's just it. Yeah,
I hope he's clean shaven, and when you see him,
well, I just hope that we don't see his face at all.
Yeah,
hear the voice and see the eyes.
Maybe in the beginning, like if we get an origin, see him mess up his face or something.
Maybe, yeah. They don't even need to show the origin, though. In fact, I hope that they show as little of the origin stuff as possible. Keep that very quick and concise.
So does
because we already know what happens to all these people. I mean, people have seen the other Fantastic Four movies, and I mean, these characters have been around for 60 years. People know the story of the Fantastic Four and Victor Von Doom. They know it.
So here's some important questions. That means he's first going to appear in the Fantastic Four movie, which I believe comes out next year.
Mm-hmm.
And so Avengers Doomsday, is that going to be the first meeting of the Avengers and the Fantastic Four?
Ooh, maybe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You kids thought the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy were one thing. Wait till the Avengers and the Fantastic Four meet. Yeah.
Oh, man. I would love to see that.
And then we are getting a Secret Wars at some point, right? I mean, throw the X-Men in there. Come on.
Yeah. Well, they have to do some Avengers, some X-Men stuff first to properly incorporate them into this MCU. And then I bet the Secret War stuff is going to be one of the long-term things that they've got planned.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to see Deadpool. I want to hear your thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He makes a joke in the movie. He's pointing the Wolverine. He goes, Feige's going to make him do this till he's 90. Love it.
Robert Downey Jr. too now at this point.
Pretty much. But again, I heard in an interview years ago, he's like, once that Iron Man, once the faceplate went down on that helmet, he was on lunch break.
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't have to actually be in that suit except for, when you can see his face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope it's different for Doom, though. I hope he's actually wearing that suit and we can see the eyes behind the mask. No CGI shit. Just keep it looking like an actual suit of armor, like this man made every piece of armor that he's wearing.
Give him a big ass fancy man cape. Yeah.
Exactly. And he can do like the diplomatic and monarchical flair that he has. Be fantastic. I can see him just strutting across the stage. Oh yeah, definitely.
And they got to steer that comic book skid where, like, Doom showing up in everybody's movie, but it's like, oh, is it a Doom bot or is it the real Doom?
Yes. Can't forget about that.
Oh my god! And eventually, oh my god, they need to bring in a young kid to play Kristoff.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine Robert Downey Jr. with some kid who has his brain? I want that so bad.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to think.
The possibilities are limitless.
Yes. All right. So, let's get into some Atlantis attacks.
Yes. The saga continues.
That's right. So yeah, we're gonna kind of just like last time. We're gonna kind of keep it more street level here because last time was Spider-Man and the Punisher. Now it's Spider-Man and Daredevil
and Cloak and Dagger.
Yes. Yeah, the only one kind of not street level is Doctor Strange in these two issues.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So all right, kids, get ready for a nice long synopsis here. All right. Spectacular Spider-Man Annual 9 from September 1989, The Serpent in the Shadow. Writer Jerry I'm sorry. I know Will likes me to do this, and sometimes Lil too. All right, writer, friend of the show, Jerry Conway.
This is Jerry Conway, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Penciler David Ross, inkers Andy Mushinski and Mike Gustovich, colorist Steve Oliff, letterer Rick Parker, and editor Jim Salicrup. And of course, this is continued from the Punisher annual from last episode. Spider-Man has gone to the West Side Armory, where the Save Our Society organization has set up operations. Oh, we're still doing this. All right.
Yeah.
The hero had recently seen a television news report about its founder, Dr. Tyrone. Dr. Tyrone.
My favorite biscuit.
No, it's not anymore, but it's a blonde biscuit.
It's a blonde biscuit, nonetheless.
Who has been miraculously curing drug addicts and alcoholics. Thinking that Tyrone might be a fraud, Spider-Man goes to check it out and snap some photos for the Daily Bugle. However, when he arrives, he is surprised to see a large crowd of New York City's downtrodden lined up to see Dr. Tyrone. Still, he decides to sneak inside and take pictures, as he hasn't been able to sell photos to the Bugle for a while. Inside, Spider-Man witnesses as Dr. Tyrone manages to cure a drug addict with a single injection. As Spider-Man watches this play out, he catches a glimpse of Cloak watching from the window outside. Spider-Man goes outside to see why Cloak has come to witness this gathering as well. The vigilante tells Spider-Man that he is here for personal reasons and teleports away. As Spider-Man tries to make sense of goings-on, he is aware what is going on. He is aware that he is being watched by a being wearing... he is unaware that he is being watched by a being wearing a suit of armor. Who could that be?
I wonder. This is the first appearance of that mysterious figure.
That's right. Spider-Man then spots Cloak inside the building. Before he can do anything, Spider-Man has to dodge a barrage of light knives fired at him by Cloak's partner, Dagger. Spider-Man leaps toward her, demanding to know why she has attacked him. Dagger believes that Spider-Man is trying to harm Cloak. Spider-Man tries to explain that he means no harm when Cloak returns, wrapping the wall crawler in his cloak and teleports away, leaving Dagger alone. Dagger's left to wonder where the two men have gone and can't shake the feeling that someone is watching her. She is not wrong, as she is being observed by the deviant priest known as Gahar.
No.
Uh-oh. Someone else is about to get a hickey. He has decided that she will be a damn screen jumped. All right. Hold on. He has decided that she will be the perfect candidate for the Brides of Set. He tells his minions to have Tyrannus capture her and leaves to continue working on constructing a new serpent crown. Meanwhile, Spider-Man is in the throes of a nightmare while traveling inside the dark dimension. He is soon dumped in Central Park by Cloak, who apologizes for the horrible visions the Wallcrawler's witnessed, but he couldn't have the hero harm Dagger. Cloak quickly departs, leaving Spider-Man in the care of people camping out in the park. After the web-slinger recovers from his ordeal, he asks the people why they are camping in Central Park. They explain that they are homeless and have nowhere to go. Spider-Man asks what they will do if they are driven from the park, and they tell him they plan on going to the Save Our Society shelter. After he is fully recovered, Spider-Man thanks the homeless people for their help and swings away. As he leaves, he thinks about how he and Mary Jane don't have it quite so bad not having a home of their own, since they have Aunt May's place to stay at. Later, at the Holy Ghost Church, Cloak returns the dagger and explains that he went to Dr. Tyrone's shelter in the hopes of using his miracle cure to end his constant hunger. However, he thinks to himself that it is a foolish dream, as he feels that Dagger would leave him if he was no longer cursed and relied on her to sustain his tortured existence. He tells Tandy that he needs to be alone for a while and teleports away. Dagger wonders why Cloak can be so blind as to see that she doesn't love him and that she loved him since the day they met.
Aww.
She recounts how the pair of them were runaways that were kidnapped by drug dealers who used them as test subjects for a new experimental drug that gave them their powers. Damn screen keeps moving. All right. Her thoughts are interrupted by the arrival of Dr. Tyrone, who is actually Tyrannus. He uses Lemurian technology to knock Dagger out and takes her prisoner. He then has his deviant allies load her up in their ship and take her off to see Gahar. Meanwhile, Peter Parker's at the Daily Bugle developing his photos of the Save Our Society gathering. Taking a look at a photo of one of Dr. Tyrone's assistants, he notices a strange dragon-shaped tattoo on his wrist and decides to pay the shelter another visit. On his way out, he catches a news report about Atlantis attacks across the United States. Changing into Spider-Man, the hero wonders if the world is going crazy. He recalls of his recent battle with the Abomination alongside the She-Hulk, which I love, where he's like, that was like a week ago, which was when our last episode was a week ago.
Right, yeah.
Nice.
How convenient.
Yeah, I think every time they call back to an annual, like in these ones, they're like, hey, a week ago.
Yeah.
As the Wallcrawler web slings across the city, he runs into Cloak. Knowing that Dagger is in danger, he has put Cloak into a frenzy. Spider-Man calms Cloak down, and he shows Spider-Man a note that was left for him at the Holy Ghost Church, telling him to go to the shelter. Spider-Man explains that he was heading there himself and agrees to help Cloak rescue Dagger. Arriving at the shelter, Spider-Man goes in through the window, telling Cloak to attack from above. As they prepare for action, they are once more observed by the mysterious man in armor. Inside, Spider-Man finds Brother Elton, the man with the strange tattoo, and follows after him. Meanwhile, Cloak uses his power of intangibility to float through the building into the room where Tyrannus is keeping Dagger prisoner. Tyrannus uses his power to enthrall Cloak and tells him to procure a mystical book in Paris and bring it back. Unable to resist the power of Tyrannus, Cloak ends up teleporting that away to do just that. So yes, now Cloak and Justin cannot resist Tyrannus.
It's those blonde biscuits, they do it every time.
Oh my. Oh yeah, sorry kids, this damn screen keeps shifting. Elsewhere, Spider-Man comes across many of the shelter's drug addicts strapped to gurneys and wonders what is going on. Deciding to find out why Spider-Man continues his pursuit of Brother Elton, while below, Cloak returns with the Book of Kel, an ancient text written by the Sons of the Serpent cult. He hopes to use the book to gain more power than Gahar. To repay Cloak for his assistance, he tells his minions to kill them. The attackers remove their cloaks, revealing themselves to be serpent men. The shock of seeing the creatures shakes Cloak free of his trance. Cloak begins sending some of the serpent men through into the dark dimension, but there are too many. Tyrannus tells Cloak to give up as these creatures are the product of Viper's serpent serum, the miracle cure he injected into the down and out of New York. Still, Cloak fights on, even though the odds are greatly against him. Meanwhile, Spider-Man continues to follow Brother Elton, still curious about the serpent tattoo on his wrist. The design looks similar to the Sons of the Serpent he fought some time ago. His pursuit takes the wall crawler outside, where he sees shelter staff loading patients into ambulances to be taken upstate. Curious, the web slinger sneaks into the back of one of the ambulances in order to see what is being done to these poor people. Back inside, Cloak continues to struggle against his attackers, but he is quickly losing ground. Suddenly, the wall explodes, smashing a steam pipe. As the creatures back away from the steam, Cloak manages to rescue Dagger. Unsure what happened, the couple decides to leave while they still can. As they teleport away, their departure is observed by the mysterious man in armor.
Again. He is very interested in what's going on here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to the end of this story, to the end of this event, kids, to find out who that this man in armor is.
Yes.
Once the pair is gone, he walks away. Cloak and Dagger appear on a nearby rooftop. There, Cloak suggests they find Spider-Man, but Dagger feels ill and her neck feels like it's on fire. While back at the armory, Spider-Man watches in horror as one of the cured drug addicts turns into a snake serpent man. As Cloak debates on getting Dagger help or assisting Spider-Man, the wall crawler is confronted by Tyrannus and his minions. Cloak decides to take Dagger to safety, leaving Spider-Man at the mercy of Tyrannus and his serpent men. Before the wall crawler can fight off his attackers, Tyrannus uses his powers to lull Spider-Man into a trance.
Cliffhanger ending, folks.
Yes.
It was the first time that we've really seen that. I mean,
yeah, in Atlantis
at the
Attacks.
end of the Iron Man annual, it was kind of a cliffhanger because you thought that Namor was dead from the explosion.
Mm-hmm.
But there was still a level of finality to that story. Like it just was Iron Man flying off into the distance.
Exactly.
But here, Spider-Man's in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh yeah, you knew a Spider-Man. It's like, oh yeah, he's got at least one more annual. Come on, he can't die.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, what you think of this, Justin?
So I love the script. Obviously, Jerry Conway can really do no wrong for me. He's one of my favorite comic book writers. Period. And I love the characters Cloak and Dagger, too. I don't really get to talk about them enough on the show, but they're favorites of mine going all the way back to... It was a Spider-Man issue, actually.
Wasn't it Spectacular Spider-Man, I think? So.
Yeah, in the early 80s. And I think if I remember right, it was an Al Milgrom cover.
Yeah, I think he was doing really some art there at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. He might have actually done the art in the issue, too, but... that was my introduction to them, and I thought, wow, these two are so cool. I love these characters.
And that is so cool. That is cool. They showed up in the Spectacular annual since that's where they first appeared.
Right.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So I was happy to see them show up here, and it makes sense for them to show up here. Like, this is a street-level story. They're street-level characters.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing with the SOS and the drug addicts and everything kind of bringing them into it. And also the added layer of the story with Dagger's abilities being able to undo the effects of the mutation for some of these people that have been mutated. I liked that. I thought, wow, that's perfect. That totally makes sense for her to be part of this. And then the added layer of Gahar taking notice of her and being all nasty and thinking, oh, yeah. But I will say I don't like the art. Dave Ross. Really? Yeah, Dave Ross. Oh, listen. If there's any Dave Ross fans, or if Dave Ross himself is listening to the podcast, I apologize. But
Because
I
he did
just
some
can't.
he did some Avengers West Coast, right?
He did that
Okay.
whole last stretch. And there's something about his art that I just can't handle. It's a lot of to do with his faces. I don't like his faces. I don't like the way that he portrays action sequences in comic books. I don't think with that said, though, I mean, and he's cropped up in a lot of the titles that I've followed over the years. Alpha Flight, Avengers
Yeah.
West Coast, Excalibur. Like, there have been multiple times that he's shown up, and I've just been like, oh, God, here we go. And my complaints about his artwork have been consistent throughout all of the iterations. I don't think, though, that he's a bad artist. I don't. I think that he's a bad artist for superhero comic books. I think that because in this comic book, I think my favorite in the story, rather, my favorite part of his artwork is when he's drawing the Serpent Men.
Okay.
When he's drawing that dude like turn into the snake guy. Like, that's really great. And that sequence where those snake men are attacking Cloak, like, that's my favorite art in this issue. So I think also like when he drew an issue of Alpha Flight, there was a whole story where Marina was in contact with the Plodex, the alien creature that she had been spawned from. And it was this massive creature, like with all these different heads and tentacles and things. And it looked so cool. And I thought, okay, this is where David Ross like excels as an artist, is like drawing this horror type stuff. So I always thought it's a crime that they never put David Ross on a book like When the Midnight Suns Happened, the Darkhold pages from the Book of Sins, like something like that, or Morbius, or one of those horror themed books. I thought it was a real crime that they kept him on stuff like Avengers West Coast, which I felt like his art was completely not suited for. And especially that inker, Tim Dazan, with, good God, I'll never forget that rendition of Wolverine leaping on the front of that cover and just thinking, my God, that's the worst looking Wolverine I've ever seen in my life. But just not keeping him on these superhero books and not putting him on a horror themed book, or like a new Tomb of Dracula, or just something like that. I thought his artwork would have excelled beyond leaps and bounds in that type of a setting, in that type of a comic book. And I would have loved his artwork if it had been prominently featured in a title like that, like a horror title.
Yeah.
But because they kept putting him on these superhero books, I was like, God, I can't do it. I just can't.
I mean, I don't have the problem. I mean, it's not bad. I'm not saying his art is perfect, but I mean, I think I like it better than you do. And again, everyone has their personal preference, but especially after last episode, this is better than Liefeld, right?
Oh, it's better than Liefeld. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, without a doubt. But if you look at like stuff like the panel of Gahar, like Gahar's face, a couple of the panels with Dr. Tyrone's face, like the close up on his face, some of Cloak's faces, like the dude just, I don't know, he's got a problem with faces, I guess. But it's just something, it's definitely something that I've noticed over the years, that I've felt like his talents were misused. Like they could have been directed towards a much different flavor title, but would have had better success in the long term.
But I agree with you here. Some of these faces, and again, maybe it's just another issue of inconsistent art by an artist. But again, not as bad as Liefeld.
Oh no, definitely. I am in total agreement about that.
At least proportions are staying the same and stuff. It's just some of the faces are
And like I said, I love that sequence with the Snake Men when they got the swords out and they're slashing at Cloak and stuff. Like, I thought that was great. Great stuff. Yeah. But David Ross, not my favorite, unfortunately. I'm sorry to any fans of the artists that are out there, but it's just not my thing.
And again, story's good because it's a Conway.
Yes. The script is phenomenal. Yeah, everything in the it keeps the story moving right along from the previous, from the Moon Knight stuff.
And it's kind of nice too that it's like yeah, the same writer's going to be writing the 2 annuals in a row, so yeah, might as well cliffhanger it.
Love it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. What did you think of this one? Did you like this one?
Yeah, I liked it. I like the story. Again, I'm not as versed in Cloak and Dagger as you are, but yeah, I always like them when they show up. And
nice, yeah,
yeah, I did like this. Again, I like the art a little better than you did, but once again, almost like seems like we're getting robbed because the cover is by one of my favorites, and Ray.
Oh yes,
Alex Saviuk.
Saviuk.
That's how he says it. Saviuk.
I love his art. Yeah, I noticed he did.
I loved his run on Web with Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yes, he was on that title for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fantastic.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed the story, and like I said, yeah, I enjoyed it because again, it's gonna continue into another favorite of mine, Daredevil. So yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, it's a nice little vehicle to say, okay, well, you're gonna have a Spider-Man guest star, and it kind of makes sense because
it makes perfect sense.
Not that Spider-Man does much of his own accord, but
well, that's okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and then let's see. There's what, like maybe 4 backups, but the only one on the app is the Saga of the Serpent Crown.
Oh, that's it. They don't have the Prowler one on there.
No, and again, I like the Prowler one. Yeah,
I love the Prowler one.
Yeah, right. Good. Yeah, written by Glenn Herdling and pencils by Scott McDaniel.
Yeah, so good
stuff. Yeah.
See, I love the Prowler. Like,
Prowler's great.
Prowler is one of my favorite Marvel characters. Going back to the old Amazing Spider-Man, Stan Lee, and I think it was John Romita.
Yeah,
or maybe it was Buscema. It was one of the two of them that did that first Prowler story. Right from the first appearance, I fell in love with that character. I thought I loved this character.
Yeah.
And then when they started, I think it was a Todd McFarlane issue when they kind of brought him back. He hadn't appeared in many years.
Yeah, it was like right after 300. It was one of those.
Yeah, it was like 302 or 303. Yeah, with that gorgeous purple cloak and David Michelini script. And I thought, oh, cool, the Prowler's back. And then after that, he kept appearing kind of frequently.
Yeah, because they did like the Outlaws, where like Kim, Outlaws, Rocket Racer, Puma.
Yeah, and then there were these things where he would appear kind of sporadically in some of the backup stories.
Yeah, because this backup, I'm trying to remember it. Not only was it here, but they reprinted it somewhere else. I think it was in one of the collections. I can't remember which Spider-Man collection they put it in, but they just like threw it in the back of a Spider-Man collection. Yeah.
Oh, did they do a Prowler collection?
No, it wasn't even Prowler. It was just like randomly they threw it in the back. Like I said, I can't remember which collection it was, but
that's bizarre.
It wasn't Prowler because it surprised me. I was like, oh, this is a good story, but it just seems randomly.
It's totally random. Yeah.
Unless they just wanted to hit a certain page count, maybe. I don't know, but
maybe.
And then we get the 25 most important women in my life, meaning Spider-Man's.
More Fred Hembeck stuff.
Yes, writer, penciler, inker, colorist, letterer, Fred Hembeck.
Yeah. I'd forgotten about some of these people too, like Deborah Whitman.
Oh God, Deb Whitman.
I forgot about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Shashan.
Shashan, yes.
Yeah, Shashan.
Flash's ex, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And also Marcy Kane.
Oh God.
AKA the Sun Priestess from Contraxia.
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember that one either.
I don't know what came first, her, or there was an episode of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends where he was gonna like about to go off with some alien princess. Like Peter Parker's like basically left. He's like, tell Iceman and Firestar, tell Aunt May I say goodbye. He almost left with her, but I don't know if it's like he couldn't survive where her planet or whatever, so like he kind of got sent back.
Oh my God. The real crime is that they didn't put the next backup story on
Sweet Revenge,
Sweet Revenge.
I remember this.
So For people who may not have been reading Spider-Man at the time, there was a subplot for a while involving this scumbag called Jonathan Caesar, who was super rich and who made Mary Jane's life a living hell because
Kidnapped her at one point.
he kidnapped her and held her hostage. He was basically obsessed with her. He used to watch her soap opera, and he had all these pictures of her. He had a shrine to her in his house. The man was absolutely obsessed with Mary Jane. So essentially, this story opens with a dream sequence of Mary Jane breaking into prison and gunning down Jonathan Caesar in his prison cell. The first time I read that, I was like, what? What's going on here? Oh, I love it so much. And then, of course, on the next page, we see, oh, no, it's just a dream. Okay.
Yeah.
and she's wearing a typical 1989 outfit of shoulder pads.
Oh, nice.
With a full lime green bodysuit with shoulder pads, and on her right shoulder is a golden sash that crisscrosses her shoulder and has been tucked into her belt. That little thing with the sash was a ubiquitous fashion item in the in the year 1989. I remember it vividly. One of my school teachers had one of those sashes.
Oh, really?
Every day. I was like, what is going on with this sash across one shoulder? What is this?
I was wondering when these guys were drawing this stuff, were they always like looking at like clothing catalogs or something?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Wore this.
They were looking at fashion magazines like Vogue or something or whatever. They were showing like the latest women's fashions. It's so funny. The shoulder pads kill me. But yeah, at the end of that story, it basically turns into a surprise party for Mary Jane. And she poses with Peter for a very, very passionate kiss and gets somebody to take a picture of it. And then she sends the picture of them making out to Jonathan Caesar in his prison cell, and he has a royal freak out. Take it away, get it out of here, take it away. It is funny.
And the best is the final fate of Caesar. He gets gunned down by another stalker of Mary Jane's. Yes.
Yeah. Wild. Those were wild times, man. In Spider-Man.
That's why I have such a problem with One More Day. I mean, he wasn't going to be giving up that wife of his. I mean, again, she had 2 stalkers. I mean,
yeah,
that had to be the ultimate.
Superior puss.
I know, right? Yeah.
She was rich at one point, famous, and yeah,
she was a model. She was an actress.
Yeah.
I
don't know if they were like, oh, it made them unrelatable. I'm like, it's like I started reading like not too long after they got married. I was like 10 years old. I started reading. I'm like, no, cool. He's got a hot wife. He got someone to come home and talk to. Cool.
Exactly. And they still weren't living high on the hog. They still were living in crappy apartments in Brooklyn. They were still like
had to live at Aunt May's house for a while.
Live at Aunt May's house. They still had Christy with her whole drama. They had all kinds of stuff. Like they never had it easy.
That was the funniest thing. One time they're like ready in bed, ready to get it on, and Aunt May walks in.
Oh heavens!
Oh dear me!
Oh my goodness!
I'm trying to enjoy this, Peter.
Yeah.
All right, and then we get parts. What is this? So the Saga of the Serpent Crown.
Oh yes, this is the deep Atlantis stuff. Yeah.
Part 6. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Watcher continues his oral history of the Serpent Crown. He tells how the sinking of Atlantis led to the creation of a water-breathing species of man called the Atlanteans. Over 2 millennia past, they were led by Awesome, OSSEM. Not awesome, dude.
Awesome.
Maybe it's Osum. Osum went to Neptune of the rise of a new deity, the death god known as Set. Osum tells Neptune that his people are being decimated at the hands of the barbarians of Skarka. He tells how his son Baal protested against Osum's leadership in the ongoing war. How Baal and his people decided to denounce Osum and worship Set. However, his pleas to Neptune fall on deaf ears, as Neptune has no desire to guide the Atlanteans any further. Returning to Atlantis, Osum finds himself about to be sacrificed to Set by his own son. However, before Baal can plunge the ceremonial knife into Osum's heart, Neptune intervenes, slaying all that are involved in the ritual. In the aftermath of the death and destruction, Osum led the people of Atlantis to a golden age in worship of Neptune. On his deathbed, Osum was blessed by Neptune for his years of dutiful service. Things were peaceful for centuries until roughly 600 years ago, when the Lemurian known as Naga discovered the serpent crown. Now, with the power of a god, Naga began a bloody reign of terror.
Yes. One of my favorite villains. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was revealed in the last one, but yes, I did reading a note. Yes, the man in armor will be revealed in Fantastic Four Annual, which is the last part of this. So.
Yes. Yes.
They keep that to the end.
Well, it's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Yeah.
All right. So, any other thoughts on this?
No, I love this stuff with the deep history of Atlantis. Yeah, it's good. Good stuff. Every chapter of this saga of the Serpent Crown, we get kind of a different piece of the Marvel universe's history. It's nice. Yeah. It's cool.
And again, it's Mark Grunwald editing, so you know it's going to be right.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. For this Daredevil annual, I'll do the credits. I found a synopsis elsewhere, which sometimes with Daredevil issues where we can't find a synopsis in the normal place, sometimes me and Lil Folk to manwithoutfear.com. Usually he has synopsis.
Nice.
Yeah, we said we should invite the guy on to talk to him because he's got a pretty nice website. Yeah.
Very cool.
All right, so yeah, this is actually Daredevil Annual 5, but yes, it was labeled number 4. So
it is? Oh, that's funny.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
The last Daredevil Annual all the way back in 1976 was number 4. So here it's labeled as
76.
Yeah.
Wow.
So from 76 until then
to 89. Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
So here it's labeled as 4B.
Nice. I like that.
But it's actually Annual 5, kids. All right.
Okay.
September 1989. A Friend in Need. Writer, once again, like we said, Jerry Conway. Penciler, my favorite Spider-Man artist, Mark Bagley. Inker Sam De La Rosa. Colorist George Rosis. Letterer Michael Heisler. And editor Ralph Macchio. And yes, kid, it is Macchio. Tom DeFalco told me and Justin personally.
Yes. I love that. Yeah.
Yes. That's right, kids. We talked to DeFalco.
That's right.
That
was fun too. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, this, like I said, this recap is from manwithoutfear.com. All right. The deviant high priest Gahar, Lemurian rebel Lyra, and the immortal Tyrannus have joined forces to summon the evil god Set and conquer the world. Tyrannus is posing as Dr. Tyrone, founder of a network of drug clinics. He's slowly turning addicts into serpent people obedient to his will. Tyrannus has also brought Spider-Man under his mental control. Daredevil is wandering the country. After the events of Inferno and Typhoid Mary, yes. he's wandering upstate. Well, he's actually wandering upstate New York, which Lil lovingly refers to as his mushroom trip.
Good as Mephisto's mushrooms.
He was tapping his way downtown.
Well, that's what we were saying. We're like, we and Lowe's have a theory that he basically just got high and hallucinated that whole trip upstate, because it ends with him in Mephisto's realm. We're like, he hallucinated that whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Broken and disheartened by recent events in his life, he comes across Leo, whose best friend Wally went to one of Dr. Tyrone's clinics. Leo hasn't seen Wally in weeks. He thinks Wally's been taken in by a cult. Suspicions proven by an attack of serpent people from the clinic. Daredevil saves Leo but walks away. He doesn't want to get involved. Leo goes after Wally alone. I mean, no offense, but just the way Leo was being, I wouldn't want to help him either.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, his broad gives him a hard time. He's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
He's an alcoholic. What's that make me? At the clinic, Tyrannus welcomes international terrorist Viper, aka Madam Hydra, whose serpent serum facilities were destroyed by the Punisher and Moon Knight in that Punisher annual last episode.
Yes.
Viper's surprised to see the patients worshiping Tyrannus. She's completely shocked when Tyrannus uses his power to take over Viper's mind. He's going to use her as a sacrifice to summon Set. Outside, Doctor Strange, who convinces Daredevil to help him shut Tyrannus down. Daredevil comes in time to see the hypnotized Spider-Man fighting Leo. Daredevil fights Spider-Man, but gets away long enough to open a nearby canal and flood the compound. With the followers distracted, Strange enters Tyrannus' chamber and interrupts the summoning spell. He recognizes the demon as a creature from the dark dimension of dreaded Dormammu. Haha, say that 3 times fast. Tyrannus has the creature under his control, but it takes all of his concentration. Viper breaks free of Tyrannus' influence and throws him into the Mystic Circle. The demon swallows Tyrannus whole, and Strange seals the portal. Back up. All right, kids, I'm going to be an adult here, and I'm not going to make any kind of joke about swallowing a biscuit whole. Choose your own adventure. Make your own joke. Back outside, Spider-Man recovers his wits. Strange turns all the serpent people back to normal and erases everyone's memories of his presence except Daredevil's. Leo is happy to find Wally, but shocked to hear Wally brush him away. Leo tries to shoot Wally, but Daredevil stops him. Daredevil muses on how blindness can be a blessing. When someone sees a truth he doesn't want to see, he either accepts it or breaks down. Okay. Well, they do kind of okay, there are synopses for some of these backups. Okay.
Oh, nice. Good.
Yes. All right. So, yeah, thoughts on the main one?
Love it. Love the Mark Bagley artwork.
Yes.
Obviously, I love the Jerry Conway script. That goes without saying. I remember being surprised at the sudden twist with Tyrannus trying to sacrifice Viper. I thought, wow. I mean, this woman had her gun to Ronald Reagan's head like less than a year ago.
Oh, yeah. The minute he double-crossed her, I'm like, this ain't going to go well.
Yeah, I was like, uh-oh. Like, yeah, I don't think he thought that one through all the way. Yeah, I think he should have chosen a different sacrifice. And kept her as like somebody to use with this plot, because she's obviously intelligent, resourceful, and manipulative, and she's well resourceful and connected. She's well connected. So yeah,
because I was going to say,
I didn't really understand that piece of it.
Yeah, why did it have to be her? Couldn't it have been just one of the mindless minions? Or I was going to say maybe Spider-Man, but I mean, the Spider-Man does have superpowers unless he just wants him as a superpowered enforcer or whatever.
Yeah, I think he was having more fun having Spider-Man as like his personal dog. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I think it was just Conway giving Viper motivation to toss him into the
yeah. Yes. Yeah, definitely. And I was trying to remember how he survived this, because I know he appears again after this in Subterranean Wars. I feel like he had like some clone body hanging around somewhere in one of his underground labs or something like that.
Oh, he poured a red skull. Okay.
Yeah. I
Hold
can't
on.
remember. It's been a while.
Let me look this up. Atlantis Attacks.
Because
During
the first
subterranean-
time I read this, I thought, oh well, he's dead. Like that's it for Tyrannus. But no, he continued.
Yeah, I mean, in this recap here, yeah, his next appearance is Subterranean Wars, but it doesn't. I don't think it says how he came back.
Oh, it doesn't explain it. Oh, well.
Maybe in the actual issue, but not here.
I feel like there must be some panel where it's explained.
But yeah, we got to do Subterranean Wars one day.
Yes.
Maybe a crossover, because is there
with
a
Gamma Charge? Yeah, there's a Hulk annual in there, and he appears a couple of times, I think, in the story.
Because there's an Avengers annual. Yeah, Avengers, Hulk, Namor,
and
Iron Man.
And I think Avengers West Coast.
Yes, I did. I didn't scroll down enough. Yes, looks like.
I think it was 5 parts. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that would make a fantastic little 2-part crossover with Gamma Charge. Definitely.
Yes. Yeah, kids, if only we can talk this Justin into doing a Namor issue.
I know.
He's like, I guess I'll take the
bull. Yeah. You talked me into it.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Especially the annuals. The annuals were all good for Namor.
Oh my god, it would be the funniest shit if we did the Avengers and the Hulk annual on Gamma Charge, and then we did the Iron Man and the West Coast Avengers annual here, and then you say, where are you going to do that Namor annual, right? That's part 3 right in the middle. If you did it solo on Lost Library, you're like,
3-part crossover. Yeah.
You were like, I needed some alone time with Namor.
Yes, yeah, this is gonna be a solo time. light some candles and put some Barry White on. Set the mood.
Sorry, kids, it's hard to grab my notes with one hand here. That would be so funny.
Yeah, I love that. Actually, that's great.
Oh man, yeah, because 1991 was Subterranean Wars, the Von Strucker Gambit, Korvac Quest, Kings of Pain, and Vibranium Vendetta.
That's right.
Yeah. Which the Vibranium Vendetta, I'm pretty sure that was all, even though Black Panther and Iron Man were in it, I think they were just all in this 3 Spider-Man.
I think you're right. Yeah. I don't think that was an Iron Man.
No, it was because his annual was here in the Subterranean Wars. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
So Iron Man showed up in 2 annual events that year.
Yeah, he was busy. He's putting in the work.
Nice. All right. All right. Did we discuss any thoughts on this main story in the Daredevil here? Any other thoughts on the Daredevil?
Oh, no, yeah, not really. No, oh, yes, I was meaning to mention that there was a little bit of an art snafu on the cover because Doctor Strange was rocking the eye patch.
Yeah.
And on the cover, he doesn't have it. So
yeah,
it was a little bit of a snafu. But sometimes I still forget that he even had that eye patch.
Yeah, because it wasn't long, was it?
No, it was like maybe less than a year, I think.
Yeah.
So he went through some rough times, man, over in Strange Tales. Oh God, they put him through the ringer over there.
I'm trying to think. This might be the first annual since that Silver Surfer that kicked this all off, where we actually got like a good cover and good interior art for
Yes, solid.
Yeah, the cover is Ron Friends and Joe Sinnott.
Yeah, amazing team. And I think that they were doing Thor regularly at this time.
Yeah, and then
and
then you open it into Bagley. It's like
yes, yep. And
you got styles, but both good. I'm like, yeah.
And the backups were all great. You had
Mhm.
Jim Lee doing the art on one of them. You had Mark Bagley, John Romita Jr., Wills Potasio. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, because hold on, let me see.
It's an amazing roster of talent.
Oh yeah. Because some of these backups,
Yeah, you said you have a couple of synopses for these?
yeah, because I think the first one, back in Hell's Kitchen, Spit and Jet of the Wild Boys are bored. They see a drug deal going down in a guy's van. They chase the driver and force him to crash. That's when the cops show up and thank the Wild Boys for catching a dealer they've been after for a week.
They actually helped the police for once.
Exactly.
Who would have thought?
And
I
then
love that.
And then we get really dark because there's another backup that kind of intersects that story for 2 seconds. Darla of the Fat Boys is grabbed by men with no good plans for her. The boys search for Daredevil, but when they can't find him, they rescue Darla themselves. They do all right until one guy pulls a gun on them. Luckily, Daredevil shows up in time to save them. He gives them all a good scolding for being reckless and not calling the police. So a little dark there. Yeah,
A little dark, with the
a
child
young girl gets
kidnapping
kidnapped
and like
for basically human trafficking. Yes.
yeah. And she's only like what? These kids are like only like 6 or 7, right?
They might be a little older, but I think they're preteen. It's
Yeah, they're not.
yeah.
And he was going to just up and shoot them at the end. He had the handgun
Uh-huh.
out. He's going to
Hell's
shoot these
Kitchen.
kids in cold blood, man. Yikes. It's cool.
Oh yeah. And then if you ever wondered how Daredevil's senses compared to other Marvel characters with super senses, there's a 2-page guide to answer your questions. Daredevil himself compares and contrasts his abilities to those of Wolverine, Sabretooth, the Watcher, and others.
I thought that was kind of cool. Kind of
Yeah.
like another how my powers work for the uninitiated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get that Ben Urich is on the trail of a story that can bring down a drug pusher. Matt Murdock warns Ben that he's putting his life in danger. Urich ignores him and sees his informant. Their meeting is interrupted by the assassin Bushwhacker. Bushwhacker kills the informant and wounds Urich. Then he learns he was hired by a drug dealer. When he was a priest, Bushwhacker saw a lot of good kids killed by this dealer's product. He lets Urich live to print his story. The dealer is arrested, gets off, and then gets killed. Urich knows who he's responsible for all of it.
This is a good story.
Oh yeah.
And that part was cool when he guns down the informant and he shoots Ben.
Yeah.
And he's walking by and Ben's like trying to play dead basically and make it seem like he's, that Bushwhacker killed him. But then Bushwhacker notices that he's still breathing. He's like, oh God. Yeah, that part was great. I loved this. Yeah, the artwork was great in this one too.
Oh yeah.
You can't really go wrong with Portasio too. Yeah.
And then finally, another chapter of it, the Serpent Crown. The crown made Naga absolute ruler of the undersea kingdom of Lemuria. A rebel army of telepaths are able to steal the crown and flee the kingdom, but the allure of the crown's power corrupts even the purest of souls. So that's the brief synopsis of that one. But isn't it like, are they friends or brothers or something?
They're brothers, and they go.
Yeah, they take the crown and like put it in this box. Yeah.
Yeah, they go up to the North Pole basically, or Antarctica, and they take a potion which makes their skin look like regular humans, and it makes their gills go away and all this stuff. And then one of the brothers goes away and does some stuff on his own in the world.
Yeah, and then when he comes back, finds out the other one's kind of been corrupted by the crown. Yeah.
Yeah, he's all serpentine and completely mutated and evil, and kills him. Kills his brother. But then he recognizes what he's done and hurls the serpent crown away in a fit of pique, and then takes his own dagger out and stabs himself.
Kills himself, and then basically blows the place up.
Yeah. There's a self-destruct device incorporated into the machinery of the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the Uatu says, the crown was issued forth a call in vain because there was no one alive to respond to it, nor would there be until early in the 20th century.
The 20th century.
So I have a feeling we're gonna jump ahead some here, kids.
Yes, there's gonna be a time jump here.
Oh my god! Well, when this guy comes back after being away for years, it looks like Judas Traveler.
He does. Yeah. I wonder if that story was fleshed out somewhere in some other series from the 60s or 70s. The one with the two brothers.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm thinking it must have appeared somewhere because that first page. Did you see that first page of the story? It said, inspired by a story by Roy Thomas and Gene Colan. So
yeah, I wonder if it was like a Tales, like a Strange Tales, or like a Tales to Astonish, or one of those type of things. Yeah.
Trying to see if there's any notes on that. I don't think so. Yeah, no. Well, the other thing is just like, this thing was labeled number 4. So
weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet they're out there somewhere, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those old anthology books. But I love Naga. What a great villain. So, traitor, it is not every day that one of your ilk even survives our chamber of tortures. And you have done so without revealing the least of your precious secrets. But now you will tell us all about your fellow conspirators, for I have the power to fill your mind with pain more excruciating than you can imagine. He's so awesome. I love Naga. Some of those Namor comic books from the 60s with Naga as the villain are some of my favorite things of all time. Those stories are so good.
Oh yeah, I'd bet a lot of this, if not all of it, has appeared in other places before, and just like what Peter Sanderson's writing this. But I could see Mark Grunwald being the mastermind behind. Yeah, let's put it all together in chronological order. Yeah,
totally. Yeah. But Naga's a hugely important part of the Serpent Crown legacy. And he's a villain I would love to see return. Like in this new Namor series, I do have like this little hope that we'll see something to do with him, because he's such a good villain. He has to come back.
Oh yeah, it's been a while since we got a good we got to flesh out that undersea world again. Get some villains rocking out here, like
definitely
Atuma.
I know we're gonna see him in the new Namor series. We have to.
Yes.
Atuma.
Gotta give him that
Atuma.
No Atuma again this week, kids.
Yeah,
it's not Atuma.
But next time, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
I think in our next episode we'll see him.
If not before, maybe. Oh yeah. Maybe in the I was gonna say, I know if not before, what X Factor and Web of Spider-Man, he'll at least be there. Yeah.
Atuma.
Sounds perfect. It works.
It does.
All right. Anything else, Justin?
No, I think What did you think of the backups? Did you like those?
I like them. Yeah. I kind of like that.
You're a bigger Daredevil fan than I am, so I figured you'd be more invested in those than me.
Yeah, and then once they brought these annuals back, they kind of did that for a couple of years in a row, where like some of those backup stories would intersect. Like, remember when we did the Life Form one?
Life Forms, they were all connected,
and the Fat Boys kind of
Yeah, and then there was that detective. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and again, like I think the Wild Boys and the Fat Boys both created by Ann Nocenti.
Yeah, so cool. Yeah, I love that era of Daredevil. Yeah.
Oh man, she's another great one to talk to.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to her someday.
You remember that one? I don't know if it was officially a part of Inferno, but it was right after Daredevil's like spending Christmas in a bar.
No.
Yeah, and I think Mephisto like shows up for 2 seconds. But
really?
Yeah, like Ann Nocenti said, it was inspired. I think she's like spent a Christmas in a bar or something. Yeah.
Really? Oh, cool. I'll have to
Yeah,
read that.
yeah.
I didn't know that. That's an Inferno tie-in too?
I don't know if it, like I
Like
said,
an epilogue?
I don't know if it's it might be immediately after. Yeah, because it's like it's title's
Okay.
like a beer with the devil or something. Yeah, because Mephisto
Oh,
does show up. Yeah,
nice. I'll have to check that out. I haven't read that one.
yeah. What is
I,
it? Like,
I
it's like
definitely would have remembered that.
it was like 265 or 266 at Daredevil. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's like
Okay.
right before he leaves New York for his mushroom trip. Yeah.
Oh, right before that? Okay.
Mhm.
Nice. All
Yeah,
right.
so I think it's the last issue before he actually does leave town. Yeah,
Before his big trip. In more ways than one.
but yeah. Uh,
Nothing will ever be as good as Mephisto's mushroom.
uh, all right. So yes, kids. So next episode, we're gonna get to gonna get back some of Avengers Annual 18 and New Mutants number 76.
Yes.
So again, just like that Marvel Comics Presents, we're gonna get a regular issue in here.
And neither one of us have read that one, right? Yeah.
I don't think so. No.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about that. Something that's new to us. Yeah.
And then the
It's
episode
cool.
after, you'll get more New Mutants from New Mutants Annual 5 and X Factor Annual 4.
Yes. All kinds of mutant action.
Heck yeah. All right. Maybe I should just go on the list. Yeah. And then the episode after that, Web of Spider-Man Annual 5 and Avengers West Coast 56.
Mm-hmm.
And then the week after that, Avengers West Coast Annual 4 and Thor Annual 14. And then wrap up the whole thing with Fantastic Four Annual 22. And we'll also cover What If Volume 2, number 25, which will give you an alternate take on this.
Yes. Love it.
Yes. Yeah, by the time we get to by that Fantastic Four Annual, pretty much most of the characters jump in on this thing.
Yes. The whole Marvel universe is involved at this point.
At least the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Joe's there. Joe Fixit.
And they call out all the reserve Avengers too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everyone is involved.
Yeah, isn't there like a big 2-page splash, I think, in that Fantastic Four, just everyone arriving at the same time?
Yeah. Like, are we going to be able to fit all these people on this rooftop?
And I think Ben Grimm wearing that thing suit, because again, he's still
Yes, yeah.
So we got like two
Still
things.
rocking the cybernetic thing suit, yeah.
All right. So there's that'll be the whole of Atlantis Attack, kids. So yes, send us your thoughts on any or all of it. Again, you can send us thoughts on stuff we already talked about.
Yes,
we'll read it on.
Still read it on the show.
Yeah, Ray, you got no excuse. So so again, Ray is such a good sport. So watch him on Ray Plays Games on YouTube.
That's right.
He's either got one hand or two hands on that deck.
And it's always entertaining.
He has one hand or two hand on that deck on the table. All right. So email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-Capes. And remember, you can find all things Capes Lunatics episodes, social media, merchandise. Get the brand new merch, get the classic merch. Again,
get all of it.
Shirts, phone cases, cups, it's all there. Hell, I think I got some hats up there. Yeah, so buy some merch. And again, Lilith Hellfire demands that you don't sacrifice your friends, sacrifice your money to us on that link.
Make it rain.
Yes.
Don't make us dance on that metaphorical pole with us before we're attacked by serpent men or disinterested heroes just on a road trip. Please give.
She looks like she was just working a stripper pole down at Divas.
And of course, the Patreon, where again you get exclusive content every month as part of the Patreon Elite.
That's right. Join me in the Patreon Elite. You get all the perks, all the good stuff, all the uncensored Lilith Hellfire you could possibly want. And all the archives of all the old stuff, including the worst superhero movie brackets.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
topless Charlie Esser. Like,
yes.
It's all there. It's all there waiting for you. It's a treasure trove.
So yeah, so thank you. So find that you can find that at patreon.com/CapesandLunatics, or you can find everything at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
All right, now for the king of podcasting here, the king of podcasting, the king of biscuits. Yes, Justin Liao. You can find him here every week on Marvel Tales. You can catch him at least once a month on X-Men Classics, and once a month on Energon Universe, talking Transformers and G.I. Joe with myself and Russell. Over on Capes Lunatics Sidekicks, you can catch him at least once a month on We Are the Night,
the Batman podcast.
Talking all Azrael and sometimes other things. And of course, yes, his appearances here and there on Electric Mullet, the Superman
podcast with Tyler. Yeah, we'll be talking
Tyler
some Superman in Exile.
Yes.
And I think I'll be showing up again because we're going to have another appearance of the villain Skyhook at some point.
Yes.
So I will be there for that.
But this man also does many, many other shows. So Justin, tell us about these fine products.
Yes, these shows. You can also find me on Gamma Charge with Russell once a month, where we talk about everything to do with the Incredible Hulk and the Sensational She-Hulk. We also have a Patreon, so do check that out. And over on Predator and Prey, we are joined by the High Priest of Khonshu Ray, and currently we are discussing some classic Predator comic books from Dark Horse before the new Predator versus Black Panther is released later this summer. Very excited about that. And last but not least, the Lost Library of Legends, my solo show dedicated to the lost and forgotten comic book gems of the last few decades. I have a special 3-part coverage coming up this summer on a forgotten series from DC from the year 2002 and 3, known as The Power Company.
Oh, going back to the 2000s, bitch.
Yeah, that's right.
It's me.
That's right.
Owl. Bird time. Don't shock the monkey. Cobra. Double biscuits for me.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Atlantis Attacks continues on Marvel Tales
for another
month.
5 weeks of Marvel.
Yeah.
Next week, Avengers Annual 18 and New Mutant 76.
I'm excited about that New Mutants issue. Yeah.
I don't know if we were mentioning. Yeah, all these issues, or at least partially, are on the Marvel Unlimited app. So
yes.
There's backups.
Read along with us.
That's right. All right. Come back next time. And remember, treat people with kindness so they pay it forward.